welcome back to Gauthier's Power Golf. Alright, the third video in the series of the power training videos covers the concept of torque. Now we covered posture, we covered balance. Now we're at the point where we've done that practice, we've perfected those two principles in our swing. Now comes torque, and this is the dynamic motion, and you twist your body. Torque is a twisting motion of your body, which stems from your feet up through your knees, your hips, your torso, up to your shoulders, and then finally through down your hands and the club shaft into the club head. The quicker you can torque and turn your body from the ground up, the faster the club head is going to be at impact. So we want to focus on the firing of the hips, which is what we're going to focus on now. And to attain firing of the hips, we have to use a bracing angle against the ground. We talked about that in a previous video. We're going to cover it more here. Alright, here's torque in the air before we actually swing the club. When we turn, we're braced against the ground. We're not talking about the sways, remember those? We're turning our body and we're pressing against the ground with the inside part of our right foot, if you're a righty golfer. We have to get a turn as far as we can until we can't go any further and we're not losing balance. At that point is where your end of your backswing is. Some people go parallel, some people go beyond parallel. Depends on how flexible you are, which is the next video in the future about training and flexibility. So at this point here, our goal is to start with our knee, turn our hip, turn our torso, and here comes the club at the very end. So it's a kinetic chain that starts from the ground up. Your power stems from your feet. Think of it kind of like a boxer throwing a punch. You rotate your body and your hip, and the punch comes at the end. Or a pitcher throwing a baseball. You're here, it starts up here, and the rest of it is just a whip. It's the same thing with the golf swing. You're here, rotating and using your torque. Alright, so let's detail the view of a bracing angle and torque at the very top of your backswing. And when I torque up, I'm going as far as I can go without swaying and losing my balance. At that point is when you start your downswing. Knees, hips, torso, and you come down, impact. Position at impact is the same as position at the finish. Here's a couple shots. Watch in particular my hips and the explosion. Starting from the knee, hips. The quicker you can turn your hips, the faster you can pull. One of the biggest drills you can do for torque is strengthen your core, doing rotational exercises with a medicine ball, but also work on just moving your hips quicker in the air. The more quicker you can move your hips, like I said, the greater the distance. So I like taking a pole, starting off in your backswing, firing. Then you can work to not having a pole.